Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It all depends on your locations. Yeah, this morning we are going to talk about so many things, but though we are still going to keep it very brief. And I hope you have a very good listening time. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. If you're just tuning in for the first time, or you'll be watching without actually taking the pain, to subscribe, please press the subscription button and the notification button so that whenever we have any new video, then you'll be the first, to get it. So thank you once again, for listening to what we have to say. And what we are doing is trying to raise awareness on so many fronts. Like most people would like to talk inside their own house among their friends only, and they be scared to show their faces and make their opinions known on things. It doesn't really change anything much if what we are saying is not digested, or if you don't have, those people who have to listen to this thing and act on them. But definitely, it goes a long way because you might never tell when someone will come across some of these videos. I will pick inspirations from there and we do something very positive that will benefit our community or mankind in general. So a lot of people have their own thoughts in their heads. They murmured all day, all night, and they go with those beautiful inspirations without actually letting out what their opinions were on so many issues. So we have this medium. Let's use it. So for those of us who can speak or who can talk, can face the camera and talk and try to enlighten our populace, that's what we do. So, but for those of you also who have the opportunity to go through the net and to listen to these things, all you have to do is at least listen and digest. Because at the end of the day, you find out that we are not far from the truth, or we are right, you know, at the point of saying the truth the way it is. So that's it. So, but for now, I would say please subscribe to our channel, share this video at the end of the broadcast. Please follow us to the end of this broadcast and try to, like I said before, digest everything that we have to present here. So it's still on Nigerian matters because every day when you open the internet, it's because you love the the world you're living in. So the information you are searching for will determine, what transpire. So a lot of people will say, why talking politics? Why not talk economics? Why not talk psychological? Why not talk? In fact, we talk about everything. At times they talk about business here. At times talk politics. But sometimes politics affects every other thing. So because for those Africans who are in the diaspora, for example, politics affects us a lot. Because if you look at it very well, most of us when we were back home in Africa, we were very uh, non apolitical because we didn't even care about politics as at that time. But after traveling out, then you find out that everything seems to be politics actually. Everything. So if you say it doesn't it doesn't really matter. For example, at the end of the day, what the politicians decide affects you in every way and form. Even when you're not back home in Africa. So that's when you start to feel the pain. I know that some people those days, but back in the days when they come to you or when they came to Europe newly, or maybe when they traveled out of the country, then the solace and the joy they were having was that oh now if they make maybe $1, then the $1 would be like maybe 100 naira or thereabout. So they're happy that oh at least if I can send $10 home or $100 home, it will go a long way. But come to think of it, you see that it's really nothing at the end of the day if the money back home does not have that value that it's supposed to have. Especially when most of the things that are being consumed back home are now being bought in foreign currency before they are shipped into the country. Or most of those things are being imported, just so to say. That's where you see the effects of the whole thing. Back in the days, people used to go to the farm, they do their own thing, farm their own stuff, grow their own food, even at their own backyard. Almost every house I know back in the days used to have a garden. Even the primary schools and the secondary schools do have their own gardens. But these days it's like even Indomie, even yam powder, and some little basic stuff are being imported. And all of a sudden the other day I had some of these Europeans politicians talking about wheat export and things like that. For Africa, that Africa should join them in the war, in Ukraine and stuff. And I start to wonder, wheat? Do we have to be importing wheat from Ukraine? What is our business with Ukraine and wheat? So is Ukraine the only country now that supplies wheat to the whole world or to the rest of the world? So I really don't understand the kind of politics that they're trying to play with that, you know? So, but luckily, somebody, there was the president from one of the East African countries, who questioned that, that line of thought. Asked them, first of all, we in Africa, we don't eat wheat. It's not like we don't eat wheat at all. We have our own grains and things like that. So, but we don't eat wheat. We have our own kind of food that we eat. So what's our business with Ukraine? If Ukraine want to go to war and fight Russia for the next 50 years, that should be their business. Why should that be our business? Why should we be concerned? We should be concerned about, the African countries that are having problems, within our borders or within our own continent. Somalia has been fighting war for quite some time now, and nobody seems to care. Nigeria has been fighting, Boko Haram has been fighting on the northern side of Nigeria, killing people and things like that. All across the borders in Chad, Niger, and all of that West African countries and things like that. So we'll be having all kinds of problems. We have our own hands full with all kinds of political problems. Why should we really care about Ukraine? So, but it's like now anyone that wants to get any favor from any Western political circles, especially the African leaders, they want to play along. So that's what this is about. So it's about deconstruction of our political system, because our political system seems to be running amok. There's no direction at all. So there are so many things where we are not supposed to be, and they are dragging us into it, and yet we are like, just moving along and stuff like that, just because we want to be loved by the West. So many other things also happen. That, for example, you see the Nigerian system, Nigerian police and Nigeria DSS, EFCC and the rest, for example, arresting Nigerians for scamming a foreigner, according or allegedly, either what they call it a love scam or what kind of scam. Then you'll be arresting your own citizen because somebody said he was scammed with love. So the other day I was just reading one girl, about one girl, I think in Calabar or Akwa Ibom, I guess. They said this girl was in love with a man through the Instagram. He met the man through the Instagram, so they were chatting, and somehow they fell in love, and the man was convinced by this girl, to visit Nigeria. And the man visited Nigeria. So when this man visited Nigeria, then the girl now took this man to her family. This is according to what they were just, what they wrote. So the girl took this man to her family. So I suppose this man is maybe Oyibo or a foreigner, what have you. So then the family welcomed the man, and they did all the normal marital rights, traditional and what have you, and things like that. So the girl have to convince the guy to go back home and sell what he has to sell to raise money and come back to Nigeria so that they can now have a life together. So the man went back home, sold his house according to them, then brought the money back or sent the money back to the girl. Then the girl bought a house in VGC or in Naija somewhere or Lekki, I don't know. So the 2-bedroom whatever duplex. So now I don't know what went wrong. Whether the man came back and the marriage did not go any further or something and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden the man raised an alarm that this girl duped him. So I really don't understand this kind of thing. So how can a girl dupe you? She took you to her family, you met her family, everything. Now you went back home, you sold your so-called house, raised money, come back, and she bought a house where both of you were supposed to live. And this man is supposed to be on retirement. So, and they were supposed to set up one little business, whereby the girl, something that the girl will be, maybe the girl and the man will be managing, etc. So, but now, all of a sudden, things did not go down well. Then this man went to go and report this girl, and all of a sudden, this girl was arrested. But why would Nigerian police or Nigerian political system they fool themselves? Every time they want to behave as if they are more holier than every other person. I mean, that's at least in this planet Earth. And by doing that, either they try to denigrate their own citizens by every means necessary, and what have you. Because now, even this guy that was arrested, for example, now, if this guy actually do something like that, should that be the business of any police in Nigeria to just go and arrest the girl simply because the girl was in love with a man and maybe now she's out of love? All they're supposed to do was maybe share the property and stuff like that. Or maybe the girl will tell the man, okay, you can sell the property yourself, I don't even want anything to do with it. You go with the property, that's your house. Then the girl will leave. Maybe the man can marry another Nigerian girl. Maybe that girl will be better. Or maybe that girl will be another hair raiser. Just like so many other Nigerians marrying Nigerian girls like that as well. So, what are the police doing about those ones? So to me, I think this thing have to do with the whole political structures and things like that. That's making all these things to that making us to not to be on the left, neither are we on the right. It's like every institution in Nigeria don't even know what they're supposed to do or what they are actually supposed to do. Because sometimes you will also see something like, you know, uh, Nigerian police or EFCC arrested somebody, a scammer, and they have to send him to US to go and face the system there when the crime was committed in Nigeria. Can that ever happen in Europe or in America that the crime was committed in Europe and the person will be sent to another Afghanistan to go and face more charges? I say Afghanistan. I think that should be a very good example. Eh? Can you imagine that? Somebody steal money here in Europe, for example, you're sending him to Saudi Arabia, where the law in Saudi Arabia will say he should cut his hand, that he used to steal this thing. Does that make sense? So that's the kind of thing that Nigeria is actually doing. You know, it's the kind of thing they are doing. Somebody will commit a crime in a particular place. Either you are, you know, there's a either you are, let's say, applying another kind of, law altogether, to address that issue, or you are just, I mean, you just handle the issue the other way around. To me, I think that fits into this category of what this is about. So because this whole system is so disorganized. So yes, the characteristics of a political system, deconstructions, is all we are talking about here. So the characteristics of a political system deconstructions varies. The question is, what are they? And what kind of political system are we talking about here? For example, power structures. Political systems are typically built around certain power structures, which may include hierarchies, bureaucracies, or other forms of centralized power. Deconstructing these power structures involve examining who holds power, how power is exercised, and who benefits from the exercise of power. So, but in Nigeria, you don't actually know who is who sometimes. Because, for example, now there's a Minister of Power and Energy. Then the next thing you hear that another person from another ministry is fighting, or the Minister of Power or Minister of Energy is having problem with Minister of Energy. Like for example, when Amechi was the Minister of Transport, he was having a problem with the Minister of Aviation. Aviation is supposed to be under the transport sector. So the Minister of Aviation refused, as at that time, to listen or even to take orders from this thing started right from the very beginning of Buhari's administration in 2015, 2014, 2015. So I remember this thing vividly. So the man is still there, the Minister of Aviation, is still the man there. So he refused to took order from Amechi. So they were fighting over some certain things. Only God knows what they were fighting fighting for. Because it's like, no, they don't really know where their boundaries are, where they're supposed to operate and where they're not supposed to operate. They just move around, go around. You'd be surprised that one of these days, even Minister of Transport will be going around and asking Lagos State to maybe to give him some money that they raised from some agberos somewhere on the roadside. After all, the Danfos and every other Molues are transporters. So the system is so fucked up like that. So that's why we are saying the system should be deconstructed and be reorganized. You know, so I would say, okay, another thing we have to apply now is, okay, let's say the ideologies. Political systems are often built around certain ideologies such as democracy, communism, capitalism, you know, etc. So deconstructing these ideologies involve questioning their assumptions, identifying their biases, and exploring alternative perspectives. So if the system we chose is not working as it is right now, then you have to find some better system or try to see how we can manage a system that will blend with our own kind of lifestyle, cultural values, maybe religion also. But a political system that is based on religion is bound to fail. As far as you know, as far as we live in a country, that is multi-religious. So it's either we have a neutralized system that does not tolerate that, or that does not accommodate that, or that is just flexible, that where religion does not play any role in anything, for example, then maybe that would be possible. But is it possible to have a country like that? I don't think so. So then there must be a balance. Balance has to be set somewhere. Because Nigeria now is all about Christian Muslims. Nobody talk about those who are not Christian and those who are not Muslims. First thing first, we were something before Christianity and Islam came to Nigeria. I know a lot of people now will say, hey, what are you talking about and stuff like that. No, that's the truth. Your forefathers were what? You tell me all things are passed away, right? That's back in the days. I agree. Back in the days. But what? A man without root is what? You soon die. Like a plant without root. So we have to have roots. No matter what, stand on your roots. It doesn't have anything to do with what you believe. What you believe is what you believe. It's your belief system. So but don't corrupt it to the extent that you have to denigrate your culture or your cultural value, and your every other values and things that make you who you actually are as a person. So because when the white people came, they tried to make you feel like everything that has to do with you as a black person is inferior to theirs. Even your own skin, even your own way of thinking, mental capacity, ideology, every other thing, culture, music. In fact, they once call our music devil's music before they too start to get devilish and start to dance the music. So, you see, everything black. Till tomorrow, you still look at some of your lines, even in the dictionary there, you see that everything in black, they wanted to paint it as so bad, evil, as anything else. So won't you just wake up from your old slumber? Because now, what they've done so far was that they tried to brainwash some generations, in the past. And now those generations now end up brainwashing their own children and their own children. And they want us now to continue doing that for them because they planted the seed already, and that seed has to keep growing. So, but there are some of us like this who will come up once in a while and try to say the truth as it is. If you go to church, you go to mosque, it doesn't change anything. You are still who you are. Don't flush everything about your origin into the dust, into the sewage system, and thinking that now you want to be somebody else. You can never be a white man. Neither can you ever be, you know, them that brought this thing, because they brought all this religion to our place for a reason. They didn't bring it to make you any better. They bring it to control you. And they've been doing that ever since. To control your mind, control your thoughts, control everything about you. To the extent that even then, there are so many things that they used to preach about, even being black. That being black was, like being a cross person. And do you buy that idea? It's all about you. It's about you. And it's about us. The African race. You divided us so much that when you see a man now from the Caribbean or from South America or from another country, even within the African continent, you look at him with a scorn, like you've seen your enemy. Or the man from the Caribbean and what have you, vice versa. He sees the man from Africa, he sees you like a jungle brother, like a man who have no idea of whatever it is and stuff. Even when he's politically or ideologically bankrupt. Even if you're a professor coming from Africa, he still see you like a bushmate. No matter your educational qualification. I'm talking of black on black. Before you get to the white side and stuff like that. So you see, these are brainwashing that took years. It took them years. And now, those people that they brainwash are the ones not doing the brainwashing for them. I just saw one clip the other day. This guy, Kevin Hart, went to Nigeria and went to Africa. He said he thought he was going to die because, why did he say that? Because of the way he was raised in America, because of what he has been hearing about Africa. Most of these people think that Africa is such a, I don't know, such a hellish kind of continent that maybe if you have to go to Africa, if you go to Africa, that maybe you have to go inside the bush, to be looking for maybe one house or in one street or inside the jungle and stuff like that. So it took them years and years and years before they start to see all these things now, especially with the technology and stuff like that. Most of these things are not hidden anymore. Somebody can just type in one city in Africa, now you just see something about Africa and say, oh, I want to know more about this country, and you start to go to Google and you start to search more, or on YouTube and stuff like that. Before you know it, you start to see pictures and it's like, what? Are you sure this is not a mistake? They have skyscrapers in Africa. Is it possible? Good roads? Is it possible? Because this is not what we expect to see. So this is what they have done to us. So then another thing is representation. Political systems are often designed to provide presentation for certain groups, such as citizens, interest groups, or political parties. Deconstructing representations involves examining who is represented, how they are represented, and whether certain voices are marginalized or excluded. You see, that is what I said about the balancing. You have to be balanced, because apart from all this religious and ethnic, there's also this, especially that ethnic issues again. So now we can put this issue of let's say another black man from another part of of the world, like Australia, like Papua New Guinea, for example, and Africa and the Caribbeans, you know, put them on those ethnic profiling, basis. Even when they speak English, even when they all speak English, they should be, at least they should be able to communicate and understand themselves, you know. But yet, if they see each other today, let's say you go to Australia today, I still see those black brothers in Papua New Guinea and Solomon Island and the rest. And the next thing is, first of all, oh, where are you from? Then you tell them where you're from Africa. Oh, Africa. They will love you, but yet that perception will take some time to clear because they be told or they've been made to feel like, they are not wanted, they are inferior, etc., etc. So they be made to feel like even if you look up to Africa and stuff like that, Africa can't even help you because Africa can't help themselves either. So because of that, then they lose hope sometimes. Sometimes they just lose hope. So, but if they happen to see maybe a clip of Nollywood or stuff, then they'll be like, should that be, or is it just a make-believe kind of thing and stuff like that? Until they are made to actually know that these are real cars you are seeing, these are real houses you are seeing, and these are real people you are seeing. Although it's a film, it's acted, but these are real things that you're seeing. Of course, there are people who live like this, Africans, you know. It's not like they have to go and borrow or they have to go and rent a car from Europe, to come and start riding into Africa or stuff like that, as they are made to believe that everything that the black man have, you know, is is brought in by the white man. So these days, you have black engineers right from time anyway, although they've been trying to be stifled over time. You have black engineers, black doctors, you know, black scientists, and all kinds of high-profile individuals. So black engineers, etc. So we have them all. So, but what I would suggest is maybe I know there are maybe some platform where they meet, but I think there have to be something. They have to do more. Maybe where they can have some kinds of association where they meet maybe once in 6 months or once 3 months and things like that, and they come together and do something that will last, that will that we that will stand the test of time. So that you can say this thing was done by black or made by black engineers. You understand when you say black engineers, that is a deliberate something. Like you say, this car was made by Japanese engineers, for example, Toyota and whatever. So likewise, we can also make one car, bring all the black engineers from all the brains from everywhere and stuff like that. Say, let's make something for ourselves, and they make that thing and make sure that the black billionaires and stuff like that we sponsor this whole project and make sure that they take this project to conclusion. Then the next thing, then this thing, we go into the market. Even if the white people don't want to buy the product, at least let this product be sold in Africa and other parts of the black continent and the black world, whether in the Caribbean, what have you. Let's assume there's no Toyota today in the Caribbean, in Africa, and things like that. No, what do you call it, Volkswagen or Peugeot in all of those countries. Then let's say Innocent Motors flood the whole of Africa and flood the whole of Caribbean, Solomon Island, Papua New Guinea, etc. What will happen? What will happen? It will really create jobs for our people. Nothing will happen. Then if they are talking about maybe trade balances and whatever, then okay, we find a way to balance the trade and stuff. But yet, 90% or 80% of the produce should be from our own companies. So if we can do that, we won't be looking for handouts from anybody. So everything will be at least, will be, will be on the, it will be a balance. So that's the point. So if only we can do that, and these things have to be done deliberately. It's not by by hoping. It has to be done deliberately. Everybody have to know that this is what we are actually looking for, and this is what we want, and this is what we are going to benefit if we can do these things. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the topic for today. So I will say for now, think about it, digest on it. If you're a professional and you come across this video, maybe it will inspire you to one day want to play your own role and contribute your own bit so that Africa one day will be much greater than it is now. So most African countries that look up to countries like Nigeria. That's why sometimes when we talk about Nigeria, you think like, why are you always talking about Nigeria and stuff like that? Nigeria is fundamentally very important to the black race as a whole because it has become a symbol. Nigeria has become a symbol of so many things, both positive and negative. So, but that positive aspect is what we are trying to push Nigeria towards so that at the end of the day, Nigeria will be able to stand on its feet. Even if Nigeria is not, does not remain, as one entity. That geographical area called Nigeria today definitely have the potential, to lift Africa up, from the ground up. So that's why we are trying to push. Because if the political system is not right, every other thing, will be in shambles. So Nigeria has practiced one particular system now for quite some time now. It has not actually been good because we can do much, much more better than we are doing right now. If little countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and all these other little countries, and even Brazil, are doing far more better, then it shows that Nigeria can do much more better. Because if Nigeria just have a stable political system for 8 years, Nigeria will be fine. It happened before, during Obasanjo time. Nigeria was actually getting out of all these wars and things. You saw a lot of Nigerians coming back home, set up businesses, etc., because the hope was beginning to arisen. The same thing happened when Goodluck Jonathan became the president. Then a lot of things again start to pick up again. The businesses start to pick up. So now we are hoping that if this problem that is on ground right now about the rigging of the elections and who, is supposed to be in the Hassel Rock. We call it Hassel Rock because they are hassling. If it's not hassling, why don't you just conduct normal elections and give it to the right man and let the man, take his seat and prepare himself for the mantle of leadership. But yet, they squeeze or twist the system and give it to their party man for now. Maybe to hold it in trust, hoping that they will get good, I don't know, maybe shop for some judges who will do their biddings. So but this is not good for Africa at all because everybody watch and follow this whole whole exercise as far as the election was concerned. So how come we are still talking about the election after You know, February, March, April. That's after 2 months. Everybody's still talking about it because the dust are still hanging in the air. That's why. If everything was done right by now, everybody will have been getting prepared to either go home or set up something, you know, that they think will contribute to the economy. So, but when you are not sure, then what do you do? So, and the next thing you hear now is that they be shouting and be crying for foreign investors. Who is a foreign investor? A foreign investor is a foreigner who is coming from outside to bring their money, their hard-earned cash that they made in their own country or in another country where there's stability. And you wanted to come and invest that money into your own space where they are not sure of how stable that economy is or how that political system is. Definitely they will not. So the only people that can actually do that are we, the sons of the soil, because we have no other country, we have no other place to actually call us. So we always do the best that we can to make sure that we do one or two things. So that is the real though. That is the real encouragement the real people you're supposed to encourage. You know, so the only thing we want is that good political system. Everything should be run well. Everything should be done well. So when you do that well, every other thing will fall in place. So that's my word for today. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming by. So subscribe to our channel and please drop your comment and share this video and let it go viral so that everyone can see it and learn one or two things from it. Thank you. God bless you. Bye. See you soon.